Hola, crypto fans. Welcome back to cryptosnews.com with me, your host, Crypto. Off to another day at work and excited to bring you guys some of the latest developments in the cryptocurrency space. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't below and you're watching this, and that way you'll get notifications when we're gonna do a live stream, like a live stream like the ones I did at the Bitcoin conference, and you can get that info early, or just to kind of hang out if I ever do those kind of live streams. So to get right into what I would like to speak to you guys about today, the first thing is, let's talk about Fred Ehrsam. So this was the co-founder of Coinbase.com, and he is leaving Coinbase for his own personal ventures off. And Fred Ehrsam was one of the first major believers in where Bitcoin could be, along with Brian Armstrong when the company was founded. And he was a former Goldman Sachs trader, Wall Street trader, so he brought all that experience and knowledge to the team. And there was an interview that came out on a Fortune 500, Fortune.com, and they put out an interview with Fred Ehrsam, and they asked him a lot of questions like, what do you plan to do after you leave? What's your next step? Are you going to go ahead and make your own fund? And he said no, a fund is not really what he's interested in. It seems like he is more interested in the Ethereum blockchain and perhaps starting a project of his own related to it. It seems like that's what's exciting him the most, and he sees as something becoming more and more relevant in everyone's cryptocurrency / mainstream life in the future. So that looks like what seems to be exciting him the most. They asked him also if he left. Basically, they tried to imply like, oh, you're leaving. Maybe it's because, the IRS is investigating your company and they're demanding that you give up privacy issues, and maybe you don't want to be associated with that. But he said that's not really a big deal because it's going to turn out like everything else, When you go to Coinbase, as a person, you have to fill out a 1099 form like you do at your jobs, perhaps, or whatever it would be like, you fill it out to say that you had some gains or you made some profit or you got paid by them, and then the tax people know that you have to be reporting some stuff to them about that. So that looks like where he sees the future of that being. And the other thing I want to talk about after the Fortune interview, which I invite you to go ahead and check out. It's got a bunch of other things on there, and Fred looks like a fun chap. I also invite you to read about GMO. So this is a Japanese internet media conglomerate, the biggest conglomeration of internet companies in Japan. And they have decided that they are going to make their own cryptocurrency wallet and exchange. Even though they're kind of late to the party, they have been very successful when it comes to video games, according to the Brave New Coin article that I read. When it comes to video games, when it comes to foreign exchanges or Forex, where they have volumes upwards of $8 billion moving daily through them. So they see cryptocurrency in the future, I guess Bitcoin, really being over bringing billions and billions of dollars just from Japan alone, and they want to be a part of that. And they also spoke about how in December there was a revised fund settlement law that was discussed by a new cabinet related to cryptocurrency in Japan, the Ministry of Finance and all that. So they have been looking at how to kind of deal with cryptocurrency, and they have a very serious inclination, it seems, toward seeing cryptocurrency as an actual currency by removing taxes on when you use it, just transactional costs like that. And taking that away would make it a currency, not commodity, and they would be the first country to really see it in this way. And so, GMO seems to think that that is a very strong possibility, and they want to be there for part of the gains in Japan, which continues to grow in Bitcoin acceptance and merchants all over the country. And what else? Oh yeah, and then the ETF thing. So we have Barry Silbert, who a lot of people like to call Barry Shilbert because he shills or really talks up Ethereum Classic. He's part of that team. He has said that he's going to make now and apply to the SEC regulators in the United States here for BIT, ticker symbol BIT, or Bitcoin Investment Trust, which would allow the average person who has just funds, or they want to invest in a fund in a regulated financial mainstream way, to be able to invest in Bitcoin and also Ethereum Classic. So he's making the BIT ticker, and you could see that coming out as early as October possibly, because there's this whole waiting period. It's about 180 days when it either gets approved or it doesn't. Then there's another 60-day deadline extension before something has to be decided, right? And then on that day, which is coming up on March, for the Winklevoss Twin ETF, the SEC has to either say yay or nay, right? Because they can't keep delaying it forever. So if they say nothing, if they haven't come to a decision, it gets approved. So people say between the possibility for indecision and also for Trump, we know who knows how he decides to go with cryptocurrency. But if he decides to make it a more regulated or go the route of ETFs and investment funds, then it's very likely that this could be approved. Although a lot of mainstream people are saying, and advisors, that it has a less than 25% chance of being approved, these ETFs and funds. So, I mean, some other things to look out for. If it does get approved in March and there was no decision made officially, SEC, and then I think that it will be very, very positive with the millions and millions of dollars, like in the first week, that are going to pour into Bitcoin. And then eventually into cryptocurrencies overall, because there is that dominance index that changes, right? Where Bitcoin is only dominant for so long, holding around 80% or so. Right now it's like at 85%, but it had been almost 90% and then it tends to waver. But trend seems to be down overall. But, you know, Bitcoin holds like 85% of the total market cap of cryptocurrency. But that does waver, and either way, that's just a percentage. So a lot of that is pointing to other exciting projects such as Factom, such as Monero, such as Dash, and such as Ethereum. And Ethereum Classic went up like 18% yesterday after that news about the investment fund that Barry Silbert and his company Grayscale Investments are applying to regulators for. So, I mean, I hope that people took some profit out of that, because who knows if the price is going to go back down or up. But it's such a small market cap for Ethereum Classic that honestly, it's probably a good investment to make percentage-wise, because it's so low it can just jump. And I think in a way it seemed to me like a cop-out, right? Like Ethereum Classic was part of it was a lot of people just wanted to make a lot of money real quick through the small market cap. So picking that up or holding it and waiting out that whole period of Ethereum Foundation selling off their Ethereum Classic that got created after the fork to raise their own funds, and we're reaching the end of that. And so Ethereum Classic is going to have less and less selling pressure and more buying pressure over time, especially as the price goes up. And Chandler Guo, epic angel investor and mining supporter of the Bitcoin community, was at the conference that I attended, and unfortunately I didn't record that one, but maybe you can find it. There was a kind of panel with like 4 speakers, investors. It was an investment panel, and a guy just taking questions and talking about different things. And Chandler Guo is a major Ethereum Classic supporter, and he basically makes it seem like China will really embrace Ethereum Classic over Ethereum because of the decentralized nature that it's taken. It has broken free from the reins of the Ethereum Foundation to allow for a programmable kind of cryptocurrency that is not centralized, and China could really like taking the reins on that one. So I think that's something to think about. Also, I hope you guys are enjoying your 3% gains on Ethereum and Bitcoin, and this year is going to be the year of cryptocurrency. 2017. I'm so excited to be here with you guys reporting. Hopefully I can attend more conferences. Subscribe if you hadn't. Hit like so other people can find this, and comment your thoughts below. Crypto out. Have a wonderful weekend.